So my name is Lisa Pehur. I'm the Registrar for NAVDA, and I want to thank everybody for joining us today. It's much more difficult, I think, doing the uh, audio-video calls. I mean, it's easier because logistically, but it sure isn't as nice as being able to get together and talking in person. But thank you all for coming. Next slide, please. First thing I'd like to do is introduce the Registry Committee. This is a group of people that I work with, and they are a tremendous help. Anytime we have any issues come up that we need to talk about, if we've been asked to look into something, if there's a policy change we're contemplating, or something new we want to add to the registry, this group, we all get together and take as much time as needed to review the task at hand and put the best plan in place to accomplish these things. To start off with, we have Jason Carter, Todd Rockhold. Now, Todd Rockhold has been a member since 2019, and he's transitioning right now over to the Judging and Testing Committee. We're certainly going to miss him on our committee, but I want to congratulate him for his new position with the J&T team. Then we have Ron Stott, Cheryl Tepp, Don Vanderlip, and then we just added Donnie Eberso to our group here. He's going to be replacing Todd Rockhold, so we welcome Donnie and look forward to working with him as well. Next slide, please. So I'm going to show a few slides here and just showing the data over the past few years and up until 2021, just so you can see how things are going in the registry. Now, we stated in the strategic plan, we showed that the registry is doing great, but this is showing you how well it really is doing. So this first slide, I have to get rid of some of the stuff on my screen to see it. Is for the, sorry, I'm having trouble here. This first slide here is showing the total number of dogs registered with NAVDA. This includes both litters and single dog registrations. And as you can see, from 2020 to 2021, we had quite the jump there. I can only assume what brought on that jump, but my guess would be, and it is an assumption, that in 2020, when COVID started, there was probably a lot of issues with people doing some of the breedings that they wanted to do, getting into the vets, traveling, and it had to be put off for the next year. And I think that's part of it. And then also just the membership growth alone is going to bring in new breeders. So that's also why we're going to see this jump. But happy to see it. But it is quite a nice jump for 2021. Next slide, please. Now this is a breakdown of, so the last slide was all the dogs registered. Now we're breaking it down. This here is all the number of litters registered. So again, you see that jump. Same thing. It's an assumption of why it happened, but we're going strong. We're getting more dogs in. So that means in 2022, we're going to see probably a lot of these dogs testing with us. So expect to see those numbers go up as well. And next slide. This is a breakdown of how those numbers are all compared. So the large green bar is the combination of all dogs registered. And then we broke it down into the orange bar, which is all the dogs coming in from litter registrations. And then the other bar, the greenish bar, is the single dog registrations. So the combination of the orange and green show you how we hit the green bars there. So 2021, we had 5,973 dogs entered into the NAVDA database. So good numbers there, seeing a lot of growth, and it's continual. It's been year after year, so things are going well. Next slide. So this slide is to talk about things that we want to do this coming year. I get a different screen on my computer because I can't see that one very well. Sorry, give me just a second. So we're always looking to improve things. We're always trying to come up with some new ideas. Enhancing the pedigrees, it's always going to be on our list. We're always going to look at new ways of what we can do and what we can add to our pedigrees, things that members would like to see. And what we've come up with for this year, and this is something that's not engraved in stone, that's going to be done. It's something that we're investigating. And what we'd like to do is give members the opportunity to choose to add photos to their dog's pedigree along with health certifications. And what I envision that to be is when you're looking at your pedigree at the top where the dog's name is, you would click on that and that would be a link taking you to another page. And that's where we would provide all that additional information. Now, I have talked to Natalie, who's our IT person, and it sounds like, yes, it's something that can be done, but there's going to be some work involved in getting it done. So we're going to be working together. She's doing some investigating on how much needs to be done, what needs to be done, and what it's going to take to get those things done. And we'll discuss it, and then it will be brought to the EC and see if it's something that we can actually do. But it sounds exciting. It sounds like something I think people would really like to see. You know, we like to see our dogs and see them on their own pedigrees, but it also helps when people are searching dogs. You know, you can look through test scores and you can look through the pedigrees, and everything looks great on paper, but you also want to see what the dog looks like. So it'd be nice to have that opportunity right there on your desktop. So that's one thing that we're looking into. Another thing that we'd like to do, and this is for the breeder awards. So this first step in this one is for the natural ability breeders awards. They will become automatic to all breeders who have met the criteria. The breeder will no longer have to apply for the award. They will get it automatically. I'm happy to say that we brought this to the EC during our meetings for the last few days, and it was voted on, and this is going to happen. So no longer will the breeders of the natural ability breeder dogs have to apply. You automatically get your award for that. Now, we'd like to do the same thing with the utility and invitational breeder awards. There's just a little bit more involved in doing that. When doing the natural ability awards, it's just a matter of compiling the test scores. That's basically all they have to pull out of the system. But with the utility and invitational, that also includes having to pull the HIP data and the DNA data. There's just currently not a report written to do that automatically. But again, I've talked to Natalie about this, and she would be the one to help us out. And she writes our reports. And she says, this looks like something that can be done through a report. So again, I'll be working with her. She'll be working on getting this report done. And hopefully this is something we can get in place yet this year. So same thing for next year's Breeders' Awards. The breeders themselves will not have to apply. That one's not done yet, but we'll keep you posted on that. And then researching, we're always looking for new things to search on the database, new searches to develop so people can find more information. And I can certainly use everybody's help on that. I mean, anybody who's interested in the database and uses a database, if you can think of searches that you're interested in, that you'd like to be able to just go to the database screen on the website and pull up that search and get your information, I'd love to know about it. I'd love to hear that, because what we're going to do right now is we're looking for searches that people would find interesting. And to start with, what we're going to do is talk to Maria first, because she's the one who always gets the requests at the office. And what are the most what are the most popular searches that she gets asked for? And we're going to start with those searches and see what it would take to get them online, and if it's something that it sounds like people would like to see. But there's also another way we're going to go about this, and Natalie has written dozens and dozens of different reports, and we're going to look through those reports and see which ones sound interesting. There's a lot to look through, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot to look through. And it's going to take some time to look through them and think through it and say, yeah, does this make sense or doesn't it make sense? But we're going to do that because we're probably going to come up with some good ones by doing that. I just added a couple scenarios down here. Like right now, if someone wanted to search the breeders, search by breeder, all the breeders award that person has earned, there's no way of doing that. So that may be a search we want to add in there. Or if someone's interested in looking for a stud dog and they want to do a search on all male dogs that have received prize one utilities. We want to develop a search that people could do that as well if it's something of interest to the breeders. So we're going to be working on that this year. I'm sure we'll come up with a few that we can actually get in place. But again, I'm always looking for suggestions. So please contact me if you have any thoughts on this or would like to join in coming up with some ideas to improve the database searches as well. And that, I believe, is the last slide. Just in closing, I want to thank everyone again for coming. I want to thank everybody I work with on the EC. I've done this now for 2.5 years. It was kind of a bucket list for me. I really wanted to be more of a part of NAVDA and work with everybody on the board. And I have that opportunity now, and I appreciate the heck out of it, and I really enjoy it. So thank you for that. And
thank you, Lisa.